She loved him. She also loved someone else. And when the gun went off, only one of them was still breathing. The call came in at 11:47 p.m. A single gunshot. A Calloway Heights townhouse. A man face down on his own study floor. By midnight, there were 2 people in handcuffs. By morning, there was only one. This is the story of Diana Calloway, 34 years old, 7 years married to a man who owned half the city's commercial real estate. Polished, contained. The kind of woman people describe as composed, when what they actually mean is guarded. And for 4 months before her husband was shot, she had been meeting another man in a rented apartment 3 miles from her front door. His name was Nicholas Voss, and when Thomas Calloway died, the police wanted both of them. What followed was 51 days of investigation, 7 days of trial, and one verdict that split public opinion straight down the middle. Some people called Diana a murderer. Some called her a victim. Most called her both. 14 months before the shooting, Diana Calloway was not unhappy. She was simply empty. Thomas Calloway was not a violent man. He was something arguably harder to leave. He was certain about everything. What Diana should wear to a dinner, which charities deserved her time, which friends were suitable, which opinions she should hold in public. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. He simply decided. And Diana had spent 7 years learning to arrange herself around his decisions. She had tried to be grateful for what he provided. She had not been aware, until Nicholas, of what she had quietly given up in return. She met Nicholas Voss on a Wednesday morning in October. The kind of ordinary morning that has no right to change your life. She was at a coffee shop 2 blocks from a gallery showing she had attended the previous evening, still thinking about a painting she had seen there. A coastal landscape, storm coming in, water the color of dark glass. Nicholas was standing at the counter, asking the barista about the painting on the cafe wall. The same painting. They talked for 40 minutes. Diana was late for an appointment she simply did not keep. She told herself it was nothing. 2 strangers talking about art, an engaging conversation. The kind that happened and was forgotten. She did not forget it. 3 weeks later, they met again. This time, not by accident. She had told herself she would not go. She had made the decision firmly twice on the morning of. She went anyway. She told no one. She didn't need to explain it to herself, not yet. It was just coffee, just conversation, just the feeling she would later say in court of remembering who she used to be. The affair began in November. Diana has never used that word for it, not in any interview, any deposition, any testimony. She called it being awake. The court called it motive. For 4 months, Diana lived 2 lives. In the Calloway townhouse on Arleigh Street, she was Thomas's wife. Composed, appropriate, attending the right events, making the right conversation, wearing the right jewelry. In the 3rd floor apartment on Keswick Lane, she was something she had almost forgotten existed. She was Diana. Nicholas was a restoration architect. He talked about buildings the way she had once talked about paintings, with the specific reverence of someone who believed old things deserved more than demolition. He cooked badly. He laughed easily. He asked her questions Thomas had stopped asking years ago. He asked her, "What do you actually want?" In February, Thomas began to suspect. Diana did not know at first. She had been careful. She had been precise. But Thomas Calloway had spent 20 years in business reading people's tells. And after 7 years of marriage, he knew Diana's silences better than she knew herself. He hired someone. Thomas did not confront Diana. This was the detail that unsettled the jury later. A man who had just confirmed his wife's affair and said nothing, continued attending events with her, continued coming to the dinner table, continued placing his hand at her back at parties as though nothing had been discovered. The prosecution said he was planning. The defense said he was paralyzed. Diana, when asked, said only, "I didn't know." On the 14th of March, Diana told Nicholas they had to stop. She had begun to feel watched. Small things. A car she didn't recognize on her street too many times. Thomas asking questions he had never asked before, casually, apparently carelessly. "What did you do this afternoon? Who did you have lunch with?" The questions of a man who already knew the answers. She told Nicholas in the apartment on Keswick Lane, standing near the window while he sat and listened without interrupting. When she finished, he was quiet for a long time. He said, "I understand." He said, "Is this what you want?" She said no. She said, "But I think it's what has to happen." She picked up her bag. She got to the door. She did not leave. Her hand was on the door frame, and she stood there for what she would later describe as a very long time. Nicholas was still on the couch, still not looking at her. And then he said, "I think I love you." Diana closed her eyes. She turned around. She stayed 6 more weeks. Thomas moved the money in the first week of April, a detail the prosecution would make much of. 3 accounts quietly restructured. His financial advisor would testify that Thomas had contacted him about updating the life insurance policy, too. Specifically, the beneficiary arrangements. He had not told Diana. In the second week of April, Nicholas received a visitor at his own apartment, not Keswick Lane, his private address, which Diana did not have. A man he didn't know, who suggested, without ambiguity, that Nicholas might consider moving to another city for work opportunities. Nicholas called Diana from a payphone. He told her what happened. And this was the moment. This is the moment investigators would later mark, when Diana Calloway's fear converted into something with harder edges. Diana did 3 things in the following week. She consulted, in private, a divorce attorney. She found the photographs. Thomas had stopped hiding them. She found them in his desk drawer, her own image looking back at her from a dozen different angles. Her and Nicholas outside the building on Keswick Lane, inside the coffee shop where they met, sitting by a window at a restaurant she had believed was private. Weeks of documentation. Careful, deliberate, thorough. And the third thing she did, she went to the apartment on Keswick Lane and told Nicholas everything. She told him about the photographs. She told him about the man who had come to his door. She told him about the insurance beneficiary changes. She was shaking when she told him this last part. She didn't realize she was shaking until Nicholas put his hands over hers. Nicholas said, "You need to leave him." Diana said, "He'll destroy you if I do." Nicholas said, "Let him try." What happened next is the part that will never be completely clear, not because the facts are in dispute. The facts, ultimately, are not complex. Thomas Calloway was shot once in his study on the night of May 7th at approximately 11:30 p.m. The gun belonged to Thomas. It was found 8 feet from his body, and Diana Calloway was in that house. Diana told the police she had been home all evening. She told them she had heard a sound from the study. She told them she had gone downstairs. She told them she had found him. She told them she had not touched the gun. The police found gunshot residue on her right hand. Diana said, "I picked it up. I didn't know. I just picked it up when I found him. I didn't know." Detective Reyes said, "MS. Calloway, where is Nicholas Voss tonight?" Diana went quiet. Nicholas Voss was brought in at 4 a.m. He had been at his own apartment. His real one, not Keswick Lane. He had an alibi. A neighbor who had heard him on a phone call until past midnight. The alibi held. Diana had no alibi, only her own account. The prosecutor's theory was not complex. Diana Calloway had discovered her husband intended to expose the affair, financially ruin Nicholas, and divorce her on terms that left her with nothing. She had taken his gun. She knew where he kept it, and she had shot him. The defense said, "The evidence is circumstantial." The gunshot residue came from picking up the gun after finding him. An intruder could have entered through the study window. The lock was indeed broken and had been for 2 weeks. There was no second witness. There was no proof. The truth, the actual truth of what happened in that study, lived inside Diana Calloway. And Diana Calloway said nothing more. On the 5th day of trial, the defense called an unexpected witness. Thomas Calloway's financial advisor, who testified under oath that in the 6 weeks before his death, Thomas Calloway had restructured his estate in a way that would, in the event of a divorce he had clearly been preparing for, leave Diana with effectively nothing. The prenuptial agreement, the restructured accounts, the revised insurance policy. The financial advisor was visibly uncomfortable providing this testimony. He provided it anyway. The jury heard. A woman who had married believing in something, served 7 years, and faced being discarded with surgical efficiency. The jury also heard. A woman who had been conducting a 4-month affair. They were being asked to hold both of these things at once, and then decide which one mattered more. The jury deliberated for 4 days. They returned a verdict of not guilty. The courtroom did not react with satisfaction. It reacted the way verdicts like this often make rooms react, with the particular silence of people who believe the answer is correct and also insufficient. Justice served without resolution. A man dead. A marriage exposed. A life reorganized around a decision made in a study at 11:30 p.m. on a May night. No one knew what happened in that room. No one ever would. 3 months after the verdict, Diana sold the Calloway townhouse. She did not get everything. The restructured accounts were already done. But the life insurance policy, revised in those final weeks, had not yet been completed. A signature was missing. Thomas had been, in the end, slightly less thorough than he believed. She moved to a smaller apartment across the city. She did not return to the gallery circuit. She did not attend charity events. She was occasionally photographed at a small restaurant near her new address, alone with coffee. Composed, quieter than before. Nicholas Voss moved his practice to another city 6 months after the trial. He did not announce it. His office simply listed a new address. They were seen together once by a journalist who did not publish the story. Standing outside a coffee shop, not touching, talking, just talking. The case remained officially unsolved in one sense. Thomas Calloway was dead. His wife was acquitted. No other suspect was ever charged. Detective Reyes gave one interview years later to a crime journalist. She said 3 sentences about the case. She said, "I've seen guilty people acquitted. I've seen innocent people convicted. I don't always know which one this was. The case was closed. The question was not." The apartment on Keswick Lane was rented to a graduate student the following year. She found a single art book left in the back of a closet, a coastal painting on the cover, dark water, storm coming in. She kept it. Thomas controlled everything he could, and perhaps that was the thing that made her unreachable to him in the end. The one room he couldn't lock. She said she picked up the gun because she found him. Maybe that's true. She said she loved Nicholas. The jury believed that too. And Thomas restructured 3 accounts and a life insurance policy in the 6 weeks before he died. Men who are only planning a divorce don't usually do that. Or maybe they do. I don't know. Detective Reyes doesn't know. And somewhere in a city that has moved on from this story, Diana Calloway knows. So here's what I keep thinking about. If Thomas had simply asked her, directly, honestly, without the surveillance, without the strategy, if he had asked, "Are you unhappy? Are you choosing to leave?" Would she have told him the truth? Would that truth have changed what happened in that study? Or was the outcome written in who they each already were, long before the gun, long before Nicholas, long before the last night? Some people say love drove her to it. Some people say fear did. What do you think? Leave me your answer below.